and visitors. My name is George Msisi. I represent Chira, the whole of Chira, not east, not west, the entire Chira. I'm vice chair of the committee.
Honorable Chair and colleagues, I'm Dr. Batua Timothy Lusala, Member of Parliament, Jinja Southwest, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Alex Nionsaba. I'm a Member of Parliament of Bufumbira South, Kisoro District, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, colleagues, our witnesses. My name is Martin Muzale, MP Muzaya, member of the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm called Logose Sarah Annette. I'm a member of Parliament, Butaleja District.
My name is Julius Nachi. I'm a member of Parliament for Budadiri East, in Sirongo District.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Joseph Mugenyi, Member of Parliament for Barashia County, Kabaral District. Honorable Chair, I wanted to ask for leave. I'm going for a legal committee, but these are my people. I was working with national water up to May 2025. So this board is part of me, so I don't want to be part of it for now. Thank you. However, I have one issue probably as they go, but the status of the project in Fort Portal, the water project. Thank you. Which is probably the answer.
Thank you, Chair and honorable colleagues. Visitors, welcome. My name is Wokur Joffrey from Vungoho County, South Bale District.
Honorable Chair, team from National Water, Habiara Fortunate, Member of Parliament, Bufumbira North, Nixoro District.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Nyakato Asnas, the woman MP Hoima City and a member of the committee. You are most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to you all. My name is Gerard Nangoli, Member of Parliament, Elogo North, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Eliab Natulinda, Member of Parliament for Ndogwa County West. Chair, I already told you I want to move for another meeting. I want to just mention one issue from my area for national water, especially in the hills of Rubaya, that is in Ndogwa West. People have spent more than 5 months without water, so that one should be catered into. I thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ronald Mohenda, MP for Porto Central Division, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chiza Hakim Saula, Member of Parliament, Bukoto South Constituency, Rengo District, member of this committee.
Chair and members, Dr. Sylvia Tumwirwe Alinito is my name, woman member of Parliament Ruchiga.
The technical, clerk lead your team.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Bwira Webi. I'm the clerk to the committee.
Good afternoon, Chair. Edward Ngovi, economist to this committee.
Good afternoon, Chair, honorable members. Kalvamuki Helga, research officer.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. My name is Lydia Nabuja, here on behalf of the Auditor General.
Hello, members, chairperson and members. My name is Jacqueline Achihole, on behalf of the Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Laban Kamhebu is my name, Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Chair, good afternoon, members. I'm Damali Kakumba, Officer of the General.
Good afternoon, Chair and all members. My name is Daniel, Auditor General's Office. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Judy Ndarushinze, a Principal Auditor from the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Opolot Karoli, Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donald Mugisha, an economist with the Budget Office.
Thank you, Chair. I am Watua Munir, a policy analyst from the Office of the Leader of the Opposition.
Good afternoon, Chair. Justin Nambiru, Principal Research Officer.
Good afternoon, Chair, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Vaishe Rwenduru Musa from Office of the Head of Government Business attached to this committee.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. I'm Detective Inspector Chemonges Frederick, CID Police attached to this committee.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. I'm Detective VIP Vironji, CID attached to this committee.
Good morning, members. My name is Okumu Henry from Accountant General, Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, members. I'm Namanja Maxence. You are doing internship for Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kakembo Kachina, an intern at Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, Chair. Simon Peter Waiswa, Legal Counsel.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. Team National Water. I'm Angela Kanyiginya, Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members. Good afternoon, members. Shamira Nyevale, Administrative Assistant.
Thank you. I think we are done. Let's turn to this team.
Honorable Chair, members of Parliament, thank you very much. My name is Engineer Dr. Silva Mujisha, MD National Water.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members of the committee. My name is Francis Owot, the Deputy Managing Director with National Water in charge of finance.
Honorable Chair and members of Okay. Honorable Chair and members of Parliament of this committee, I'm Engineer Johnson Amayo. I'm Deputy Managing Director in charge of Technical Services, National Water.
They are audible. It was on. Switch again. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of this committee. My name is Katete. I'm the Deputy Manager and Management Services.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, my name is Dr. Rose Christine Kagwa, the Senior Director for Business and Scientific Services at National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. My name is Engineer Padet Wesije. I'm a Senior Director in charge of Planning and Capital Development Projects.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, Engineer Alex Gisagara, Senior Advisor, Engineering Services, National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of Parliament for this committee. My name is Engineer Jude Ngobi-Muoga, Senior Director, Information and Business Solutions, National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Peter Mtunjile, Director IT, National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Good afternoon, Chair and Honorable Members of Parliament. My name is Engineer Mahmoud Ultea. I'm the General Manager for Kampala National Transport Corporation.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Samuel Apedel. I'm the Director of Public Relations, National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Honorable Chair and honorable members of the committee, my name is Aloysius Kaijuka, Director Legal Services, National Water and Sewage Corporation.
Honorable Chair, honorable members, my name is Samson Kamjisha, Manager Performance Analysis.
Good afternoon, honorable Chair and honorable members. Dr. Charles Okonji is my name. I'm the Senior Director for Financial Services in National Water. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members of Parliament. My name is Ayuni Salanyo. I work as the Director of Human Resources.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of Parliament. My name is Mr. John Fisher Sekavida, and I'm the Senior Manager Marketing and Communications. Thank you.
Thank you. Have all the technical teams or the support team introduce themselves? Thank you. Colleagues, we are interfacing with National Water and Sewerage Corporation. I want to assume the MD is the accounting officer. Please be on the record that you are appearing as the accounting officer.
Yes, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, according to the National Water Act, the Managing Director of National Water is the accounting officer.
Yeah, well captured. Before we go into the details of the audit report, we received a brief from the Auditor General's team that the report on National Water and Sewerage Corporation was a clean opinion, in their own words. They called it unqualified opinion. But I want to first capture the quick concerns of the members before now we go down to the detailed responses and also the concerns and arising questions. Now, do you have some quick concerns, members? Let's start with Honorable Martin.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, ED, for a job well done so far. I can say that. At least there is constant supply of water in our areas where we come from. However, Mr. Chair, most of the projects in Kampala, the works projects, that is to do with the roads, most of them have been delayed because of relocation of water pipes. And when you meet those technical officers who are managing those projects, the excuse they give is that water delays to relocate those pipes from areas where they are going to do their works. A case in point is the road where my vice chair comes from, that is Chira. It was delayed simply because of one of that. So maybe since the director is here, he will make some information to that.
Honorable Nangoli.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the MD before us and his team, they have interfaced with this committee before, and he knows normally we give him an opportunity to give us an update, his mandate or their mandate, where they were before, when they appeared before this committee, where they are, and where we are going. I expected that in your remarks so that he briefs us, since you have said he has a clean opinion, but we need to know, because they had the issues. There are also some small issues here that we shall interface with him before they leave, but I wanted to bring that to your attention so that we are briefed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Please take note of Honorable Nangori and colleagues, take note of, I believe you have all perused through the audit report. And of course, when the Auditor General tells us that he gave unqualified opinion, it doesn't mean we are not to peruse through the details and the detailed report.
Chair, I have a colleague here who wants to declare her interest. Put a disclaimer, so please.
Please, the rules require that if you have interest, you declare it and we see how to deal with you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I wanted to be on record as we have handled the previous commission that was here, Human Rights Commission, that the accounts that are under audit were supervised by myself when I was the Deputy Managing Director Finance of the institution. So I felt I need to declare that, so that as they are discussed, I am clear on that. Because even in the last commission said the preparer of the last accounts should appear on Friday when the accounts are going to be discussed. Thank you, Chair, colleagues.
I think let me consult here. We may turn you into a witness. If you are directly responsible for these accounts, we may be constrained to allow you again raise questions to those you supervised. Let me consult here shortly. Well, I've consulted. Well, I thank you first of all for declaring your interest in the matter. I've been advised that within the rules, we may not allow you to discuss this particular matter. But when we require a response that is within your knowledge, we may invite you to cross to the other side and respond as a witness. But as a member of parliament, you have all the rights to attend the committee. And save for the particular discussions concerning these reports where you are a probable witness, as and when we find so. I think I've guided on that. Emerging issue, Honorable Kim, then I'll come here.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I wanted to get some responses when the time comes about the issue of national water. Normally you have a habit of digging the roads when installing your pipes, and when it comes to when you are done, you don't put it the way you found it. It is major across the country. Why is it national water? Yet you have that percentage of money which is reserved for you to act on such issues. I don't know the percentage. Then number two, for sure sometimes I have this question in my mind. Why is it that water cannot reach to every place in this country? Yet we have all the sources of water, fresh water actually, which doesn't even need to be purified. When you move around to countries, for example, in Arab countries which do not even have source of water, salty water, water is supplied everywhere. What hinders the supply of water to each and every part of this country? I come from Rengo. Rengo is very near to Masaka. You find towns like Chinoni, Mbirizi, along the main road, the highway. There's no water. What hinders that? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, quick. Let's be fast. Honorable Kim, switch off the...
Thank you, Chair. Once again, I'm Wokuru Joffrey from Bali. I come from a town council, Busiu Town Council, which hosts water supply plant, which supplies in Bali Town, Bali City. But the immediate neighbors have water crisis. Immediate neighbors who host the plant have water crisis, and largely the town council, Usiu Town Council. I need the managing director will guide on that in his communication. What are the requirements? And we lay pipes along the roadside and people get water. Thank you, Jama.
Yes.
Abiara Fortunate, thank you, Chair. Let me take this opportunity to thank National Water for the job they are doing. But in Fumbira North, where I come from, where I'm a member of parliament, water is pumped from my constituency to Kisoro town and other areas. But in Fumbira North, we do not benefit from that coverage. And yet Fumbira North is very hilly. Children don't go to school because they have to fetch water first. Ladies have a problem to fetch water when they are carrying babies on their back. So I don't know what National Water Corporation has in plan to distribute water into Bufumbira North and those other hilly areas. I thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable. Where is the portable?
Thank you, Chair. I want to add my voice also to the Honorable from Fumbira North. It's true, the pumping station is in his constituency, but he doesn't get the water. And that water, of course, goes to the most densely populated areas. But also on my part in Bufumbira South, the water is distributed along the gorilla areas, the forest, Mugahinga Forest National Park. That's where it's pumped to that area to serve the communities first, those communities surrounding the park. And then the lower areas don't have water. And it really would require only pipes because the water is already at the high end, at the highest points. So bringing it down is easy. And like now in a dry season, it's really, you find people fetching water for long distances, up to around 10, 15 kilometers. So I think it's important. And I want to state it here that sometimes we are stretched to put in our own money to extend the water to some areas. So I think it's important that you look into this matter. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Mine is to seek a clear understanding on the operations of National Water, which I feel have not come out clearly, unless the Director clarifies. I want to know how much water is produced and how much is billed, so that we have an understanding of, I think, what you call the non-revenue water. That's the first one. The second one is a clarification on at least two big projects that you've done during the year under review. So I want to know the bidding type that was followed for those two projects. The projects, which projects did you do under this year, the year under review? Which projects did you do? And you immediately relate the bidding process that was followed. And if there was any administrative review, you let us know, because that information is missing, yet it's critical in appreciating your work.
Thank you. I think I should do. No, they are becoming too many.
They have to clean it. Chair,
okay.
The last one, Chair, because this issue has come up on several occasions the issue of unpaid bills by government entities, government agencies. If you look here, Chair, it is to a tune of 128 billion, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd like to hear from the MD and his team. What plans do you have? How do you want this committee to help you? Because it has come up on several occasions, whenever they come. You can see it has now gone. The other time it was 97, now it is 128 billion. How do you want the committee? Because you know the committee has powers to discuss and see how best we can help you. I don't know how you are operating when you are demanding 128 billion from government agencies. And yet these people also get money from Parliament. We allocate resources to them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Maybe before they respond, I got, in our brief, I got this from the team of the Otajeno. Who is leading the team of the Otajeno? Hey, before they respond, come and clarify why you came up, how you came up with this opinion as an unqualified opinion on Uganda, on national water, and who were the auditors?
Thank you so much, Chair. Once again, my name is Judy Ndarushinze. I am leading the Otajeno team, and I'm in charge of the water and
is he audible?
Sector.
Can you borrow the nearest? Yeah, you can see it.
Thank you so much.
Pull it closer and be comfortable.
Thank you so much, Chair, and I appreciate the honor of sitting me on the first bench. Chair, as stated earlier, my name is Judy Ndarushinze, a principal auditor with the Office of the Otajeno, and I'm in charge of the water and environment sector. Chair, for the last 3 years, the audit of National Water and Sewage Corporation was outsourced to PKF, which undertook this audit. Currently, the year ended June 2026, the Otajeno has taken over the audit. So going forward, the report shall be from the Otajeno's office, done by the Otajeno team. Now, back to the question on how we got to the opinion. The audit is always guided by the International Financial Reporting Standards. And the audit of National Water and Sewage Corporation was indeed undertaken in regard to the same standard. In the process, we undertake what we call risk assessment. When we undertake risk assessment, we determine the materiality of an entity. Now, we determine the materiality of this entity to be close to 400 million shillings. 400 million shillings. Now, for any misstatements or errors that are established in the process of audit that are below the materiality level are taken to be non-significant, and they are not. It helps determine the nature of opinion. So for this matter, National Water and Sewage Corporation's materiality levels, the observations were less than materiality level, so it necessitated the issuance of the opinion of unqualified, which is a clean opinion. I beg to submit.
Okay. Yes, Honorable. Summarize, please. I want to emphasize.
Yeah, just to add on, materiality is not only on numbers. Sometimes it is also on the nature of transaction. The nature of the transaction may be in such a way that it is material, even when it is not material in terms of money. Now, I wanted to ask something about the bad debts that were written off for 3 billion. You see it on page 40.
Are you not going into now?
Okay.
They are going to respond.
Okay.
We are trying to capture the immediate concerns. Honorable Nyakato.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, in the last Parliament, most of the members of Parliament lost elections because of lack of water connection in their constituencies. I happen to have been serving on the Committee of Natural Resources as the Shadow Minister, but also as a member of the committee. Water and Sewerage Corporation came up with a work plan which indicated that at least 90% of the local governments were going to get new connections. Most of these new connections did not take place. Today we are having them here. They have some audit queries, and we expect the same to happen again in this other 12th Parliament. Honorable Chair, most of the water supplies, the water supply sources, the water tables have gone too low. In most of the town councils, municipal councils, cities, water is always not available throughout the week. But the bills go on increasing even when you have not gotten their water. Most of the government hospitals, the schools have a lot of bills. But when you go there, they tell you they have not had water for many days. Yet the bills keep accumulating even when they have not utilized the water. Me personally, in Hoima City, you will take a whole week without water. Either it comes very early in the morning at 4 or 5, then again you see the same bill is coming every end of the month. What is the cause of this? We also want them to assure us that the same problems which have been coming up are not going to accrue again. We have very many days at the referral hospital of Hoima and other health facilities. Schools, as I have told you, they have not been getting this water. The water is always off, but the bills keep accumulating. How does it take place? You're not utilizing the water because the water tables, because those are the excuses. The staff at National Water keep telling us, you see, the water is no longer now enough. People have oversettled, human degradation, but the bills keep accumulating. Most of, now like the referral hospital right now, the water bills are too high. But if you go there, they will tell you, the people there, they buy a jerrycan at 3,000 from these water fetchers around the town. Then you wonder if government hospitals cannot have water, schools cannot have water, even personal non-governmental institutions, homes, they are complaining about the same problem, but there has not been a solution. On the issue of sewerage, most of the manholes in the town councils, urban centers, have been uncovered by these people who, the ones who collect these from the toilets. There have been causes of accidents in most of the town urban centers. National Sewerage Corporation has kept quiet. And sometimes when we call on your engineers, they will tell you they are not the cities to take charge. And you wonder if it is National Sewerage Corporation in charge of these sewage things, wastes.
You can hold on the others. You'll come in later.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, when you go to page 49, since you said it is...
You're already in the audit report?
Not really, Chair, but it's just...
Which document?
The document that I've got from Auditor General document, Chair. Yes, so when you go to page 49, Chair, I would like the remedy through you to talk about which are these institutions, because when you look at the institutions here, it amounts to 51 billion, local authorities about 1.190, ministries 78 billion, parastatals 4 billion, ministries 78 billion receivables. Then Chair, on page 38, the MD will also give us some highlight on employee, that's not 6, employee benefit expenses, car and cycle allowances, 10.206 billion. Annual terminal benefits of 29 billion. Page 38.
Are you done?
I'm done, Chair.
Yeah, now, because of your question, I will now turn to the accounting officer. One, give us your opening statement on behalf of National Water and Sewage Corporation. Answer these concerns, but those which are specifically with the audit report, I will allow you, after answering those outside the audit report, you proceed through your responses, and within them, also attend to whatever has been raised within the audit report. But as you come in as well, I think one thing I captured coming up from most of these questions, and I wish you start with it, the bills. I think you need principally to break down what constitutes a water bill. When a member says there is no water, but there is a bill, and someone is complaining that even without water supply, the bill is there and continue accumulating. Break for us what constitutes a water bill according to your tariff standards. And number two, the aspect of connections is coming up. Could you, as in your opening statements, also be on record? What is your the saturation of water supply vis-a-vis Uganda and our population of 45 million people? Do you saturate it by villages, households? How do you state the connectivity as of now? To you, the accounting officer. And the information will...
I come from that sub-region of Greater Masaka. I was born when the supply of water stops in Masaka City. Until now, when I'm a member of parliament, it stops at the same point.
It doesn't reach the constituency is what?
I've said I was born when it stops in Masaka City. Until now, when I'm a member of parliament, it has never extended.
Let's get the responses, the connection and efforts being done to ensure that everyone gets water.
Chair, thank you very much. And I really want to thank the honorable members of parliament for raising all these issues, many issues. For us, feedback from you is very, very important because it helps us to improve our performance. It helps us to know where we should put focus. So I really want to thank you for these questions, and I will make a good attempt at answering them. Now, Honorable Chair, I need your guidance. Do I start by answering the questions, then I briefly go into the report?
I wanted you to give your opening statements.
Yeah.
Answer those which don't and
as a witness, I want to welcome you. You are new faces, most of you, and from the way you have asked questions, I can see we are going to have a bright 5 years from now, because as I said, we rely a lot on your feedback. And congratulations for being elected as members of parliament. Honorable Chair, when you invited us to appear before the committee, we were also requested or asked to prepare a report of the Auditor General's audit ending June 2025, and if there are any updates on the actions we have taken, we are supposed to give you the updates. We have prepared a report. It is here, and this report, when you go to page 1 of it, it talks about the key audit matters that were in the audit report. And Honorable Chair, there were 2 key audit matters. The accountants who are here on your side will agree with me that a key audit matter is an area within an auditing process which the auditors feel, in their opinion, that they need to exert a lot of energy, or they need to focus the efforts of the institution they are auditing to take more interest. Otherwise, if that is not done, such key audit matters can transition into qualification of accounts next time. So the 2 key audit matters which were highlighted were trade receivables and also land matters. And these are the issues we have tried to respond to in our response to your call. And when you go on page 2, you will see what the update is. And if you don't mind, Chair, this is largely accounts, experts in accounts. I don't know if you would kindly allow me to invite my deputy in charge of finance and accounts to take us through these technicalities, and then thereafter I can come to answering the questions.
I think you first attend to the questions.
Yeah.
So he comes in when we are dealing directly with the responses.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Now, I'm going to attend to questions of some of the members who have even left, because they also left the questions on the table. There was a question from Honorable Mugenyi. I start with you.
What constitutes a water bill?
Okay.
For us to know and the public to know.
Chair, what constitutes a water bill is a multiplicative effect of the water you have consumed multiplied by the tariff, plus a service charge, plus VAT, tax. That's what the water bill is all about. Now, from Honorable, from Hoima, is it?
Honorable, to understand you well,
yeah.
When I have no water supply,
yeah.
What now, you want to say that I still have a bill?
You still have a bill coming from the service fee. And that service fee is so small that it would probably not amount into the level of concern the honorable member from Hoima City is talking about. It is so small, and the reason for it is that even when you are off supply, there is still some administrative need for our staff to keep coming and checking on your meter and making sure that you don't have to connect an illegal connection. And so that administrative charge is what gives credence to the service fee.
Hey, accounting officer, I don't know how members perceive it, that I'm disconnected from water,
yeah.
But I must meet the cost of those who want to check whether I have an illegal connection. I would believe ordinarily that I'm charged when connected. But
the service fee is so small. For example, if it's a domestic connection half-inch, the service fee is 1,500. 1,500. If it is a bigger size pipe, 3/4, the service fee is 2,000, and it is a constant figure.
Okay, and talk about connectivity in terms of the whole country. Yes.
The MD calls it a small portion of money. Let us relate it to the homesteads we consider to be connected to national water. 1,500 Ugandan shillings. In case you have, let me say, 400 connected families, how much is that money that you call small? In my home, actually I don't even know when I have ever seen any official from the national water to look for anything. But I keep on paying service fee. That is too much money. We need to know where that money goes.
So, I think we shall interrogate it further. Let him attend to all these questions. And
okay, thank you very much. But just to respond as I go to your next question, you ought maybe to note that the tariff is not a cost recovery tariff. So even the other rate that is related to consumption does not cover all the expenses we need in order to even extend water to the next person that has not gotten water. So that service fee is not only for people to visit you, but it is also for your disconnected account to be managed in office. We have a huge database of disconnected accounts. I think now the connection efficiency we have is about 90%. About 10% of the accounts are disconnected. So this database has to be managed, we have to pay all the costs related to managing the database. So we need to survive as an institution on top of the tariff not being a cost recovery tariff.
Next.
Now, in terms of connectivity, Chair, we normally measure our connectivity on the population served versus the population of Uganda. Now, the population of Uganda is about 46 million, I think, as we know from the recent statistics of UBOS, and we are currently serving about 21 million in the urban centers of Uganda and the immediate environs. So, looking at our target population and what we are currently serving, we serve about 85% of the people we are supposed to serve. Maybe just take you into the law. National Water can only operate where the minister has gazetted it to operate. And when the minister has gazetted us to operate, we count how many people we are supposed to serve in the areas where we are being gazetted, and the numbers I'm giving you is that we are serving about 85% of the target population we are supposed to serve, and this 85% translates into 22 million Ugandans. And if I put it in villages, we serve about 17,000 villages out of, I think now they are coming to about 70,000 villages, mainly in the rural areas. So that's what we do. Now, Honorable Chair, there was a question from a member of parliament from Masaka that where he found national water is where it is still now. The reason, as per my explanation, is that that's where the minister asked us to end. So if you go to the minister and say national water can go beyond, would be very happy to go in Masaka. And the good news is that we are doing a project at Bukakata, a big one. So as and when we are given more geographical mandate, we should be able to take the water there. We propose, but it's an interactive process because other places are operated by other departments of the ministry, and you don't want to be seen to be asking to serve an area which is being already served by another one. Otherwise, there will be some conflict of interest. So the person who mediates this conflict of interest is the Minister of Water, and you. Actually, what you do, you go to your sub-county, they call them local government councils, the sub-county. They pass a resolution that they want national water to take over. That resolution goes to the district passes a resolution, and then the chairman, LC5, writes to the minister asking national water to take over. And we'll be happy to take over. Now, there were many more questions on, I think the questions on page 49 and 38, those ones can come a bit later. The Honorable Member of Parliament for Hoima City, I thought you would be the first person to thank National Water because recently we've just commissioned a project to augment water supply for Hoima City in preparation for AFCON. Really, wouldn't we deserve kudos from you? But that one notwithstanding, the questions you have asked, I think the issue of the bills keeping coming, I've answered it in terms of the service fee. And then the issue of the boreholes drying, it is very, very true. You are very right, Honorable. That's the main issue we face in Hoima. And that's why we want to augment it with the new treatment plant installed at River Kafu of the capacity of 2 million liters of water per day. So if this water is put there, and there is also the Hoima 3 phase, which is coming, which will install about 18 million liters of water per day. So the constraint which is being presented by boreholes that dry during the dry season will no longer be a problem for Hoima City. We are even thinking of a bigger project from Masindi Port that is going to be a regional project, serving Chugumba, serving Chiriandongo, serving Masindi, and then coming to Hoima City. I think you know there's about 40 kilometers between Masindi and Hoima. So if we bring water into a reservoir, we should be able to gravitate it to Hoima City. So for Hoima, water will no longer be a problem. Now, regarding the manholes which are open, I am happy to get the details to see which manholes of national water are open. Then we should be able to take it up with the area manager. But what I know is it is easy to think that this is a sewage manhole when it is actually a stormwater manhole. So we have to make a distinction. If it is a stormwater manhole, that's not the business of national water. That's the business of the city. There was also another question of government bills reaching 128 billion. Maybe you read a wrong number. 123.
On page 50.
On page what?
50.
I think you
Not
need...
not 25.
The Honorable Chair.
B. Outstanding balances are rising from sale of goods and services.
Honorable Chair,
Receivables.
I think I will address myself to that number when we go to the details. But to the best of my knowledge, the last five, because you are now looking at the financial year ending June 2025. If you looked at the financial year ending June 2026, it will be a different number because we got 81 billion paid by government from domestic area. So the number is quite different, and we shall address ourselves to that number when the time comes. Honorable Matua, you asked a question I did not expect you to ask because I normally follow you on TV, and you normally have some questions from national water. This time you have asked different ones. So let me address them. The two projects we have just started in national water, recently the major one is the Masaka project, and recently this other project of Hoima City. The project of Hoima City, which we have just started, we did it in a record less than 1 month because we wanted to enhance preparedness for AFCON 2027, and we had to do it through emergency procurement provision of the PPDA Act. We did it in less than 1 month. That's why the contractor is on site working. The Masaka project took a little bit longer because when the donor is involved, the FD is involved, and we cannot proceed unless they give an objection. So when we tendered out Masaka, we got 2 bids. We pre-qualified 4 in consultation, of course, with the donors, and only 2 bids reached the final stage. 2 bids reached the final stage, and 1 bid was eliminated because of the technicality. We remained with 1 bid. 1 bid was 59 million euros, which was 10 million euros above the budget we had anticipated. And we objected. We said we cannot implement a project that is 10 million euros above the budget, and we requested we had to address the issues which the other 4 pre-qualified bidders had failed to fulfill. We again invited them and repeated the process. By doing that, we were able to get a new bid which was 49 million euros, 10 million euros lower. So it took a little bit of time because of that cost overrun we experienced. Now, we did not get any administrative review on that project, so there was nothing like a delay. The delay was just because of that, the result we got at the end of the day. Now, how much water is being produced? Currently, I am not sure about the numbers exactly, but for Kampala water, we are losing about 37% as non-revenue water, and all the other regions, north, east, west, and central, non-revenue water is about 25%. But because I anticipated that problem, because of this issue in the report, I brought this research report. we've been investigating the causes of water losses. The causes of water losses is actually not physical losses, not this water you see flowing. Otherwise, if it was because of that, you would definitely be seeing rivers all over the place. Because if you had even if you had 1,000 cubic meters of water flowing on the road, you will see rivers. I'm sure in the morning you drove from home, you did not see water flowing. Now the issue we are having are the meters we are using, according to this research study. Now these meters, our research has shown that when you have an overhead tank, we lose 15% through the meter as a result of low flows in the what? In the meters. Now, the engineering knowledge around that is when you have an overhead tank, at night when you flush, the bore valve in the tank releases the water so slowly, and that water cannot be counted by the what? By the meter. Let nobody deceive you in this world that there is a meter which can count that one. So we have that systemic error in the meter of about 15%. Our research has shown that where there is no overhead tank, the meter accuracy is about 5%. So it means the coming in of an overhead tank brings 10% water loss as a result of that phenomenon. Another phenomenon we have investigated is meter separations. All these people you see having flats, once you separate meters, if you compare it with a master meter, we lose about 9% as a result of meter what? Meter separations. There are also other intermediary factors like the throughput through the meter. Once a lot of water has passed through the meter, it also loses accuracy. And once the meter is also old, it loses a lot of accuracy. But the most significant causal factors is the introduction of overhead tanks and also meter what? Separations. Now, based on those two factors I've told you, we have an issue because nobody constructs a house now in Uganda without an overhead what? An overhead tank. Nobody wants to have a flat without separating the what? The meters for tenants. So we already informed Parliament about this issue. We said what we are going to do now, the suggestion we are going to suggest to the minister is to introduce a loss adjustment factor like all the other countries do. You introduce a loss adjustment factor which now takes care of that loss. But that loss adjustment factor may not go to the extent we have discovered through our research, but at least it will alleviate the problem we are facing. The other issue which was raised, we have models we use, especially for Kampala. The 37% non-revenue I've told you about, 17% is about physical losses. 20% is the losses through this system I've told you, plus theft of meters, theft of water, illegal connections. Illegal connection is an animal we are fighting with security agencies. The other one, and those illegal connections include somebody coming with a huge magnet, putting it on a meter and stopping it from what? From running. So it means you have to look for those bad elements who are putting magnets on the what? On the meters. So illegal connections is something that within our control, it is within our control to fight, but what is not within our control is the systemic losses of the what? Of the meter. And also I want to request for your support that no development partner should come and say we can give you better meters, because they would just be wanting to sell their meters without solving the what? Solving their problem. So fortunately, the law is very clear that once this has been proved through research, we can put in a loss adjustment factor and be able to bring the consumption closer to what it should be. Now, there was a question about Bufumbira North and Bufumbira South. Yes, it is true, we have a project called, our treatment plant is in Nkanka, isn't it? I went there, so I know the place. So, and he's raising a very genuine concern. Why should a source be in a place and the people around there have no water? We are going to check that to see how we can serve the people around there without promising that we can serve all the people where the project is coming from, because that place is not gazetted to national water. We can do some minimum work. But I also want to give you an assignment. There is a neighbor there who is saying that he wants to construct a hotel just in the neighborhood of our waterworks, and that is going to bring some very serious environmental concern. He wrote to us asking for 10 billion. You can imagine somebody wanting 10 billion from land, and the threat is if I construct there, I would have killed the source where you are obstructing the what? The water. So you are members of parliament. I want to invite you to work with the local government there and make sure that there is nobody who constructs something that will distort the catchment area and disturb the water we are getting from there. Then there was a question about Busiu. I think this is where we have Manafa Waterworks. Manafa Waterworks.
Some clarification, Mr. Idi.
Yeah.
NEMA, I don't know, what is your relationship between you and NEMA? Because most of these places which have been encroached on are wetlands, where mostly you have gone to establish water sources. You have talked about the AFCON project. I want to commend you for that. Thank you very much. Just last year, your team was in Hoima City. They are talking about the river Kafu, how the water table has totally gone down. I want to know the source of now the water supply for this AFCON, because we may invest in too much money in a project which is going to end with AFCON 2027, and it ends there.
Yeah.
Yet we are supposed to continue utilizing people. Yes, continuity of the project.
Thank you very much, Honorable. You have asked a question. I have also asked the people who are thinking of doing more than the 2 million liters of water per day there, because we know that the all-weather flow in River Kafu is not that much. So we thought by our computations have shown that if we put 2 million liters of water per day treatment plant, River Kafu will sustain it. And our suggestion is that any additional water system for Hoima City should come from Masindi Port. Because at least Masindi Port, we are sure there's water. We are working with AFD. We already carried out feasibility studies. We are now going into another study which is supposed to get water from Masindi Port. And I think that is where a sustainable source is, and not River Kafu. But with what we have put there, we are very sure through our hydrological studies that River Kafu should be able to sustain it. But any attempt to add a 20 million liter treatment plant there, I think River Kafu will not be able to sustain it. It will be like River Enyau in Arua. Arua will put a treatment plant, and during the dry season, the water gets what?
Can we go to are the questions over? We want to proceed.
They are still. So Manafa, we are going to check that and see if there is any way we can serve the communities around, and if Busiu, in any case, is under National Water and Sewage Corporation. They're on our side. And Mbare, we are implementing a huge project there. So even if the source is not enough, with this additional water we are getting from Bunkoko side, we should be able to have sufficient water and restrict the catchment for Manafa Waterworks to serve Busiu sufficiently. So what we request from you is if you can lobby for more funding from us, because every time we bring our request for funding, it remains in unfunded priority. So we shall need more funding in order to be able to do this.
Mr. Idi, won't
I don't know. Honorable, let's pause the questions. Let him finish. We want to proceed to hear the responses. Some of these will be answered, I guess.
There was a question from Honorable Kim we have a habit of digging roads and we don't restate them. What I can promise members of parliament is that we are in very effective coordination with the local authorities. When it is Kampala, we work very well with Kampala Capital City Authority. I know I've had my own internal issues with the delays in restating roads, which we have strengthened now. We have dedicated teams to make sure that wherever we cut, we are able to restate. Maybe my assurance, Chair, is that you can never avoid to cut a road. Even in those developed countries, they do cut roads. But I think the question Honorable Asinas was talking about is when you cut, please restate to the original quality or even better. And I think that is something we take very positively, which we shall work on. So there was Honorable Nangori, where were you before and where are you now? When you look in the report in the detail, you will see 2 years. There is 2025 and 2024. So of course that will show you the movement, how we have performed from 2024 to 2025. Just for your information, our last year's operating profit, that is profit before depreciation, was 162 billion. The previous year, it was about 140, I think. This year, God willing, it will be about 180 billion. So we seem to be moving, although that should not excite anyone because it is on accrual accounting. If you go on cash accounting, it would be much less because some government institutions are not paying. There was also a question of delaying road works because of pipes. Again, this is another question we are working with. We have advised the people who are managing roads that let them make pipe relocations part of the design work. Because what these people do is they go and sign a contract, then they come to us, and then we also have now to start designing the what? Relocation works. And that takes a bit of time. So we are working with them, and we have said let them incorporate design of pipe relocations into the consultancy work, so that when they finish, it is already clear how much will it cost to relocate the what? To relocate the pipes. And that will make it much faster. Although the situation is not as bad as that because we work very closely with them, and I don't think that has caused a lot of problem. Robaya, from the Member of Parliament for Ndora East, is not under national water. It's not under national water, it is still under the ministry. Sorry? Yeah, so as and when it is gazetted to national water, we shall see how to be more relevant to that. So I think that's my honest trial of this, and if you don't mind, Chair, I can request.
Let's proceed. Take us through your responses to the audit report.
I can. Do I have the authority to?
Yeah, you can delegate any of your staff to clarify where you think there is clarity.
Francis Owot is the one who is in charge. Much as Honorable Sylvia said she was the one supervising, but she was also with this gentleman here, so they know.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Allow me to present our updated responses to the issues raised by the Auditor General following their audit of our financial statements as at 30th June of 2025. At this point, Chair, you would allow me to thank the Auditor General for having been very thorough and patient with us until we concluded the exercise very well. So when they ended the audit, the Auditor General identified two key audit matters affecting the corporation. And like the MD explained, these are matters which are of significance in as far as the corporation's affairs are concerned: trade receivables and land matters. But the Auditor General concluded that he had nothing significant to report on the above two matters. This is consistent with the report just presented by the Auditor General, that we had a clean audit report. Nevertheless, Chair, we thought it necessary to throw a bit of insight to the committee on these two issues because we think they are very significant. Over the page then, is where our explanations are.
I think you move closer. You move the mic closer, so that the record captures you well.
Thank you, Chair. Expected credit loss on receivables is the first issue that the Auditor General mentioned. What are receivables? These are funds which were due to the corporation from third parties, and they were expected to be paid within 1 year from the 30th of June of 2025. The total trade receivables as at 30th June was 482 billion shillings compared to 368 the year before. Gross receivable is subject to expected credit losses. Losses may arise due to a number of reasons, which may include the debtors may fail to pay due to a number of reasons, which may include bankruptcy, death, or disputes. Customers may delay to pay. They may pay you, but after time, this would cause a loss due to the time value of money. So expected credit losses vary depending on the type of receivables in our books. And here below, I mentioned to you the type of receivables in the books of National Water. They include trade receivables due from non-government institutions, from you and I, receivables due from related parties. These are institutions which are governments, the MDAs. We also have receivables recoverable from contractors. And finally, we have other receivables in our books relating to external services work and prepayments for certain goods and services. So as at 30th of June, the magnitude of these receivables in our books is explained in the table below, and I don't intend to go over it one by one, because over the page, I've explained the same. Start with note 1, trade receivables due from non-government consumers, from you and I. So these are receivables for water bills issued to non-government consumers. And these consumers include domestic, institutional, commercial, public stand post, and so on. Bills issued to non-government consumers amounting to 116 billion had not yet been paid by the time the external auditors concluded their work on the 30th of June of 2025. The collection efficiency from this type of consumers was 99%, meaning all the bills we issue, we collect 99%. Nearly all of it is collected by the corporation. The outstanding debt from this kind of consumers was equivalent to 2.5 months. We have a credit policy that such customers should pay within 30 days. The question is, what are we doing to collect the arrears due from non-government consumers? Chair, I'm sure all of us in this room must have received SMS or email reminding us to pay our bills. And if they don't, we go on radios to announce that unless you pay your bills, you will be disconnected. In some cases, we make physical visits to the consumers, asking them to pay, especially those who are not responding. We offer arrears settlement plans for those who owe us money and they are unable to pay all at once. We don't want to deny them water. If they can commit that on a monthly basis, they'll pay their current bills and some amount towards the settlement of arrears. We also issue disconnection warning notices to those who are delayed to respond. And where things are difficult, we move in and turn off the services until payments are made. Even after paying, we levy reconnection fees, currently 11,800 shillings for each disconnection. This is very punitive, Chair, and not many customers want to go to the last option. The threat of disconnection usually is enough to force customers to come and pay. Note 2 receivables.
Before you go to note 2, and trade receivables, I want to understand that these are the unpaid monies due to National Water.
That's correct, Chair.
And you are saying by the audit, you had 116 billion unpaid.
Maybe I go back to the page on page 2.
Page 2?
Yes.
Yes.
On page 2, the table at the bottom. We are saying trade receivables due from non-government consumers. The
Yes.
category I've just presented.
From the public, let's say.
Yes. It was 116 billion.
Yes.
You and I owe the corporation 116 billion.
Now I want to appreciate this. On page 3, you said that this computation was in a range of 2.5 months.
Yes.
Meaning that the corporation had collected all areas below these 2 months, 2.5 months.
Yes. All
the areas.
And that's how the 99 comes from.
Had the corporation written off some areas, or it had actually collected totally all the areas?
We had issued bills, and the payments which we collected remained 116. 116 is what we collect the following year. At the end of, by now, most of them are paid. But at the end of the month, some had received the bills and not responded.
You wanted clarity, Honorable?
Just I wanted to clarify, just for your information. You know, there's what we call events after the balance sheet date. So you find that the date is as at that date, but after maybe one day, they can actually collect all of it, but the report will continue showing that as at that time, that was the amount which was outstanding. That's why we must always be interested in events after the balance sheet date, whether they collected, whether... that's why I was going to ask, but first finish the presentation.
Yes, Honorable Batua.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and colleagues. About these dates, I can see Auditor General and National Water, you're speaking about the same item, but using different figures. The account receivables are reported to be 482 billion. Honorable Chair, if we go with you in the report...
Honorable Batua, you are in which document? You tell us the document.
The big document.
On page what?
Page 1. The big document, page 1. Item 1. Item 1. The second sentence, you will see a figure in bold. 482 billion. And that figure is also...
Which, the big document, this one?
Yes.
Page what?
Page 1. Page 1, item 1. Item 1 which reads, key audit matter number 1. Key audit matter number 1, expected credit losses on the trade receivables. Are we all there? Now, the second sentence under that, a figure in bold format.
482 billion.
It is 482 billion.
Chair, we need to be guided. I don't see...
I think on this big document, but Honorable Batua, don't you think...
You gave us 2 documents. One document was a clarification from National Water on the 2 issues.
Do you have the document dated 21st July 2026?
I have one dated 17th July 2026.
We issued a report, an update, but again, there is no inconsistency in the figures.
There is no what?
No inconsistency.
No, let me speak. You clarify after I've spoken. Okay. Slowly, are we all on that first item? Maybe, Director, you could also be there on the first item.
I'm presenting from the document 21st July 2026.
No, I think you are referring to the same document.
Yes.
We are referring to the same document.
Now, on page 1, If I may quickly assist you locate it, when you look at the text on page 1 of this document, the big document, the big response, I think within the text, it is talking of 482 billion as total receivables. Though in the breakdown, the box below talks about 471.
So, Honorable Chair, even when you go to the accounts presented, the statement of financial position, the balance sheet, account receivables are presented as 471. There is a difference of about 10 to 11 billion, which we need very good clarification, especially...
Let me remember, I think the difference is because there is expected loss of 10 billion, which is reduced in the financial report. So it is the 482 minus 10 billion, which is the expected credit loss. So in the balance sheet, they show net of the expected loss, which is 10 billion.
You are assisting the witness, I think. Let him also speak to that.
Honorable Chair, the question is referring to an item I haven't presented. I'm coming to present that. It is the presentation is still ahead. Yes.
For clarity, you can just highlight it.
The figure it's referring to is subject to the expected credit loss, which I'm going to present.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Batua, are you contented?
I'm not yet contented. Why? No, why I'm not contented? Because this is not the way accounts are presented, especially when you have an unqualified opinion. You get it? When you look at your balance sheet, that is, Honorable Chair, I think it's page...
Making a mistake. They are correct.
Page 18. Page 18. Under current assets.
Page
19, page 19, Honorable Chair, if you're there, and colleagues. Page 19.
Yes.
You're there?
We are there.
You will see clearly that the titling of the second item under current assets is trade and other receivables. That is the titling. And it is 471. Now, the titling here is expected losses on trade receivables. And it is 482. And in this oversight activity, it is inconsistencies of this nature that we tend to dig deeper and find out why it happened. So this should not be a matter that should be brushed off easily, because that's how oversight is done.
Honorable Chair.
Okay,
can I
respond.
You to page 47, where that figure comes from.
47 of what?
Of the financial statement.
Yes. You're checking the big document. 47 is behind. We are there?
Yes. Where we have trade receivables. Trade receivables, you have the gross amount coming to 482 billion. Are we together? At the bottom.
The gross amount?
Yes.
Is at 482 billion.
Yes. That's my presentation stops so far here. I am going to present the 10 billion, the expected credit loss. Then we shall derive the 471 billion, which is the figure that goes into the balance sheet. What goes to the balance sheet is not the gross. It is after expected credit loss.
Oh, so there is a deduction of this 10.8 billion.
Yes, the accounting standard requires that we subject this gross figure to expected credit losses, then the net amount of receivables.
Now, this 10.8 is counted as a loss?
Expected loss.
Expected loss.
out of the receivables you have, you may not collect all of it for the reasons I've already explained. Some people may die who owe you money. Some people may delay to pay. Some people may become bankrupt.
I just hold it there. The Auditor General, speak to these figures.
Chair, a very good witness is this side.
Wait.
She's willing to.
Wait.
As Auditor General comes in, Honorable Chair, because it is a matter that I've initiated, you should clarify, because on page 7 of the responses to the report, the tiny book, the tiny one, which is dated 21st July, page 7, you've gone further, I think, to describe or to define what expected. You're calling it what? Expected? Expected credit loss, what it is. And you're saying that it's an amount. It's basically a theoretical amount. It's a theoretical amount that presupposes that either the entire figure will be paid in full or partially or may never be paid. It is a theoretical amount. Now here we are dealing with absolute amounts of receivables, the real receivables. My expectation is that Auditor General should have presented a figure that matches exactly with your books.
Let's get the comment from the Auditor General team. I think you have been following the contention.
Thank you, Chair. Let me make a submission and call upon my colleagues to add. But, Chair, I want to refer you to the International Financial Reporting Standards 9. It indeed states that expected credit losses are allowable to be treated as the entity treated them. So, in my opinion, there is no discrepancy to this effect. This audit followed the International Financial Reporting Standards, which stipulate the treatment and the reporting process. Anyone who wants to add on?
I will request you to stand.
Okay. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, my colleague. Just to supplement what he has said, yes, the Honorable is right that it's an accounting figure, but it's within the confines of what the standard requires. The standard requires that as management, you assess your trade receivables as at year end. You assess to see what is the probability of default, what would go wrong in terms of recovery. Once that is established within the model, the confines of the model that management is supposed to work with, then they derive the expected credit losses as at their year end. So yes, for purposes of presentation, as per IFRSs, the presentation is right.
I think Honorable took us to the last page, page 7, which was showing 11, not 10. Did you mean that? Yeah, let's conclude on this quickly.
We are going to conclude. Honorable Chair, I normally want to appreciate things the way I read them and the way they are presented. If there is a correction to be made to this report, let it be made. When I read the second sentence, this is page 1, key audit matter number 1. The second sentence reads like this.
Where are you?
I'm on page 1 of the big document.
Yeah.
And under that first item, which is key audit matter number 1, which is expected credit losses on trade receivables.
Yes.
Of the trade receivables, what is the expected credit losses? But let's read the second sentence. Let's hope we are all there. It starts, the total receivables. That is the word being used. The total receivables as of 30th June 2025. Are we all reading the same words? Was UGX 482. Total receivables. It is the word being used. We are looking for consistency. You get it. So that we write a good report. Now, when you go to the balance sheet.
You also mentioned the page.
Yeah, I'm going to mention, I'm hunting for it. Page 19. Page 19, that is under current assets. Are you there? If you've seen the word assets, you go below it, you will see current assets. You further go below, that is the second item. It is denoted with the figure 21. Now, that one reads, trade and other receivables. You get it? So if there is a correction to be made, let the correction be made in the wording, because these are technical words with a figure that is not the same. We are referring to receivables now. Which figure should we take when making a report? 471 or 482?
Maybe, Chair.
Yes, let them respond.
I want to like his reasoning of consistency. Actually, this report is consistent. When you read page 19, it does not talk of total. The word total is not there. It actually talks of what it is. When you go on page 1, the trade and other receivables, exactly the same wording, is talking of 471. And when you go to page 19, the exact wording talks of the same figure, 471. It is not total.
Now,
because total...
Honorable Chair, maybe to conclude on this matter, because we shall conclude it in the report, the person who is concerned with this, is there any correction to be made, or you leave it to our fate?
No, Chair, maybe, I don't know now, you are taking us to how you write the report, but what we are saying, there are two things. There is total trade receivables.
And
this has to be discounted by the credit loss in order to come up with the trade receivables that should be captured in the balance sheet. I'm not an accountant, but I think that's what...
No, to my knowledge, when they talk of current assets and when they present receivables, even if they don't put the word total,
Chairman,
I know anything to do with receivables is presented there. If it's not presented, then it means it's not appearing in your financial statements.
Chair, can I ask for guidance?
Let's move like this.
I think our economists can also guide us.
Let's move like this. I heard from the auditors.
Yes. Let me
Honorable, your hand was up. I don't want you to be part of this discussion unless you agree that I rule you cross over to this side. I want to procedurally be right. Then I allow you to speak to the report. But while on this side, the rules don't allow you to participate in the debate. But if you want to participate and offer a response, I will kindly request you to cross over and then speak to us from the witnesses. I give you that discretion. Let her turn, because she said she was directly responsible.
But Chair, we are still capable.
You are still capable.
We are
Thank you, Chairman.
No. Let me accord her the opportunity to speak. You go.
I think, Chair, even if she comes this side,
yes,
she can only speak on the permission of the accounting officer.
Yes. Now,
Chairman,
please seek permission of the accounting officers. Until we saw the
maybe, Chair.
You want the response to come from your team?
No, I want first clarify, and if she's still needed, she can.
Yes.
The total by true sense of total is adding up all the receivables. Now, maybe what Honorable Matua is saying is moving forward, this other trade and other receivables should call it net trade and other receivables. Again, I'm not an accountant, but the accountants can guide on this.
Honorable, you wanted.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Chairman, I want to just guide a bit. You see, in accounting, is what we call prudence, and most of the things, some of the things are done based on judgment. Like the expected credit loss is actually provided for by IFRS 9. It is International Financial Reporting Standard on these losses. Now, there's nothing wrong because we're using what we call accrual. You might be mixing accruals accounting with cash accounting. That is the issue. But in terms of the total receivables, I'm sure they have a list showing the total receivables. But when you come to your books of accounts, you make a provision that somebody might default. But doesn't mean that they will actually default, but you do it just for prudence. Now, those things are, you zero them when you go to the cash flow. That is where you now add them back. It's like amortization, depreciation. Depreciation also is not an actual expense.
So you are saying what he is presenting is right?
Correct, yes.
Let's proceed for now. Proceed. Let's first proceed and cover these credit losses. Let him finish and then we ask at once.
Now,
we had
Honorable Sylvia, you can now come back.
Receivables due from non-government consumers, the gross. Allow me now to proceed to receivables due from related parties. These are government institutions, the MDAs. I'm on page 3.
Page 3 of the small document.
No.
Page 3, page 4.
Page 3.
On page
3.
Page 3 of the small document. The responses.
Dated 21st July.
Not 2. Okay, proceed.
So these are receivables which were due from government institutions.
What is unpaid by government?
Yes.
Yes.
The corporation has been faced with significant risk over the years relating to receivables from the MDAs due to a number of factors. The first one being under budgeting by water bills. You will see this more clearly in the financial year 26 or 27, as I will present. There may be delayed payments to National Water of the releases that the ministries have received. Some ministries take long after receiving releases to transfer the money to National Water. Some ministries go extreme, retain the monies that they have received for water bills and do not send it to National Water.
A bit of struggle in getting money from them, but by the time we closed the year, all MDAs had released the money they had received. Yeah, they can.
Okay, proceed.
Yeah, okay. I think both are correct. I said over the years, I started by saying over the years, we've had this problem. So the position as at 30th of June is that government institutions owed 128 billion shillings. Again, this is gross. This is not the net. The collection efficiency from government was 81%, meaning all the bills we issued to government institutions, they paid back 81% to National Water.
Do you have the breakdown of this 128 billion?
The breakdown we have in our system, but the breakdown is not reported in financial reporting. But
can you avail to our clerk the breakdown?
But again, Chair, let's again, he has not yet finished presenting as at June.
As at June.
The 2026, the situation is different.
Okay.
Thank you. This is as at the time when the auditors signed off the accounts on 30th June 2025. So at that time, the debt age from government institutions was equivalent to nearly 18 months. So in conclusion, the biggest risk with receivables relates to debt owed by the MDAs due to the following reasons. One, the MDA debt actually accounts for nearly 27% of all the receivables. It's a substantial figure in our books. Yet the collection efficiency is only 81% compared to 99% of other consumers. The debt age is also, like I said, nearly 1.5 years compared to 2.5 months with other consumers. This is where the corporation is focusing a lot of attention. It brings me.
Could we presume that you put a lot of efforts in recovering from ordinary consumers and you put less efforts on recovering from government agencies?
Honorable Chair,
because you say for the public, it's the areas were within the ranges of 2.5 months, but for government, it is in the range of 17.3, roughly 18 months.
Honorable Chair, the answer to your question I've answered on page 3. Efforts to collect debts due from non-government consumers. We have not ignored these debts. We disconnect, we send them SMS, we go on radios, we put the charge on your account if you don't disconnect. I've already explained that. I'm going now to.
I hope you don't disconnect hospitals.
This is government institutions.
Maybe, Chair, just to answer your question, because your question was the government institution being 17.5 and the domestic being 2.5. Does it mean you are putting more energy on domestic than government?
Yes.
The answer is both categories have different methods. For example, with domestic, you can send an SMS. You can threaten a disconnection. You cannot send an SMS to an institution and you think they will pay. So the institutions, MDAs, require a lot of protracted engagement with Ministry of Finance, which is a different approach we use with what? With domestic. And that's why presenting the next section, you will see that there is a lot that has changed now.
Honorable Chair, clarification on that. Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair.
But yours are normally longer.
No.
Could he conclude the paragraph and then you come in? Let him conclude. Yours are normally longer and technical.
No, it is on government entities.
Let him conclude it, okay, because it's the same paragraph, and then you come in.
I progress by updating the GOU position as at 30th of June 2026. So I've presented to you what happened at the time of audit, but 1 year on, what is the situation? Chair, the corporation appreciates government and parliament for increasing the allocation of water bills in the financial year 2025-26, which went up by 118%. We are also grateful to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for releasing to the MDAs all the money which Parliament allocated, the entire 141 billion shillings. And this is where I was coming. When we appeared to the committee before, there were concerns that National Water may not be disconnecting the institutions so that the monies come. We have engaged the MDAs vigorously and collected all the monies that Ministry of Finance released to them during the year. As a result, Honorable Chair, the MDA arrears reduced from 128 billion at the time of audit to 53 billion a year later, 30th of June of 2026, to 53 billion shillings, from 128 to 53 billion shillings. And we have to pay tribute to Parliament and to our Minister of Finance for increasing our allocation. That's the main reason why arrears came down. And all I've said is summarized in the table over the page. The table shows the releases by the Ministry of Finance from 2023, 2024, 2025. At the bottom, we'll see in 2023-24, total of 61 billion was released for water bills. It slightly went up to 65 billion a year later. The trend has been very similar, no significant increases. But in 2025-26, it went up, it more than doubled from 65 to 141 billion shillings. So an increase of 118 billion shillings. The next row shows how much of it was collected by National Water. The entire amount National Water collected from the MDAs by the 30th of June. And the last two columns shows the position of arrears of the MDAs. At the time of audit, it was 128 billion, but at 30th June this year, it had gone down to 53 billion shillings. I wanted to finalize government position with the budgetary allocation for the MDAs for 2026-2027, the current financial year. Honorable Chair, the budgetary allocation for water bills is not sufficient to cover the current and the domestic arrears of the MDAs. We have had a reverse in the allocation of funding from Ministry of Finance. The total billing for MDAs is expected to be 87.5 billion shillings in the current financial year. But then the allocation is only 60.7 billion for the current bills, creating a funding gap of approximately 26.8 billion shillings. Secondly, the MDAs, together with National Water, carried out a joint verification of domestic arrears as at 30th June of 2025 and came up with a total amount of 50.2 billion shillings and requested Minister of Finance to provide this money. However, no money has been provided towards.
I think you can skip those future projections. Let's first focus on the audit report. You can skip that part and proceed.
I was about to finish just that page.
Because don't worry, we have the report.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go to note 3. Or note 2. Because I wanted him to give the highlights of this. We respond at once. You respond, go to note 2 in summary and focus on the audit report, not the future projections.
Land matters?
Note 3, receivables recovered from contractors. And who are the contractors?
From other
anyway.
contractors. On page 6.
Yeah.
So these are payments which have been made in advance by NWC to various contractors who are constructing water projects in accordance with the terms of contracts. But there is no significant risk relating to these receivables for two main reasons. One, that they are backed up by advance payment guarantees issued by international banks, and the possibility of default does not arise. Secondly, the advances are recoverable directly by National Water from the future invoices issued by those same contractors. Other receivables on page 4, they are not very significant. They make up 4% of the total debts due to the corporation. Again, we have not had any significant risk to these other receivables. Finally, I wanted to bring the concept of expected credit losses. What has created problems? Explanation. Really, what is expected credit loss? Right from the start, Honorable Chair, expected credit loss is not the same as actual loss. So I would not expect someone to say National Water lost 11 billion. No, it is just a concept brought in by the standard to say, if you have anybody owing you money, at all, there's a possibility that you may not collect all that money. Whatever you may not collect may cause you a loss, expected credit loss. The risk in expected credit loss may be caused by a number of factors. One is time. For example, government is paying, but paying late. So the time value of money is a concept which is brought in here. The person who owes you money may die. Bankruptcy may occur to the debtor. So remember, expected credit loss may fully, may partially, or may never materialize. The 11 billion may entirely be a loss. It could even be more. It may never happen. For example, you owe me money today and you pay the entire amount tomorrow. So ECL may never materialize. It may materialize partially or fully.
So I put on hold the Honorable Dr. Batua. Let's see, are you done with
it? It is in the presentation. It is in the presentation just here below. You will be patient. So the computation of expected credit losses takes into account a number of factors, and includes the pay ministry of the debtor. An institution like government, which takes long, the risk is higher. So we are signed a higher amount in expected credit loss. It takes into account the credit worthiness of the debtor, the amount outstanding. A big amount gives you a bigger risk than 10,000. At that age, for how long has the debt been outstanding? Amount allocated towards water bills. In the case of government of Uganda, when the allocation is big, it's likely that we are not going to lose the debt, but also the general macroeconomic factors in the economy. So the corporation estimated the expected credit loss for the financial year being reported to be 11 billion shillings. And it takes me to the question which the Honorable wanted to raise. Why the shift from 13 billion to 11 billion? Why did we downgrade? In a way, I've answered these questions. This was the optimism brought about by the increased allocation by government from 65 to 141 billion shillings. So such factors gave us hope that the losses would be lower. The reverse will be true.
Information.
If I could say.
I'm looking at 47, page 47. When you look at page 47, I'm seeing the reduction in the expected credit loss was mainly due to write-off of bad debts. You wrote off 3 billion. You check 47, page 47, not 21. Not 21.
I think let me receive the questions at once. Honorable Muzale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think you receive all these at once, so that after them we go to land matters.
Mr. Chairman, I'll begin with the one I'd almost asked in trying to solve the problem that Honorable Batu had earlier asked. Because in the last financial year, that was 2023.
Honorable, switch on your microphone. Yeah.
The last year, which is 2023-2024, they projected a loss of about 13 billion. So we need now to know, did they collect this? And what is the reporting currently in the year 2024-2025? Mr. Chairman, if you look at the statement of profit and loss, that is on page 18.
Of which book?
Of the main document. Yes, the big book, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, they say other incomes. That is under revenue from contracts with customers. So they talk about other incomes. Under other incomes, they talk about in 2024, it was 6 billion. And in 2025, exchange rate gains. That is, if you use note 4, page 38, you'll see exchange rate gains of 14.8 billion. Mr. Chairman, if you use again page 48, and you look at the deposits in foreign currency,